Hello student. Now we are going to learn how to design HTML form. So let us start. So for designing the HTML form, instead of using the Notepad text editor, I will use another text editor, that is NetBeans text editor. So the NetBeans text editor, you can download that from the Google, right? So I have downloaded that and I have installed the same. So this is the text editor. So NetBeans IDE 8.1. so you have to download this text editor from Google, and before you download this text editor also you have to download the JDK file. So after installing the JDK file, then only you can install this NetBeans IDE. So this is our text editor, open source text editor. You can download free from Google. So I will use this text editor instead of using the Notepad for this HTML form design. Okay, so I could have also done the same thing in Notepad, but as I told you that there are different kind of text editor. This is advanced text editor, so it will be easy for you to understand while I will be showing you right now. So let us start. So here is a file option. So I will create a new file. So you can see new file. I will go to new file. So now you can see a window will appear. So in this window, go and select here, that is other. Follow the step other. So after that, select here at the right panel. You can see there are two separate panel. Go to the right panel, HTML file. Now go to the next button, right? So now you can see another window appeared, and you have to provide the file name. Let me provide the file name as HTML form, FORM. So I have given the file name as HTML form, right? And now this file name has to be saved in a folder. So you have to write the location here. So you can see this is the location path, right? So inside the C, inside the user, this is the username, okay? And inside the username, there the desktop exists, right? I will write desktop, DESKTOP. So I am just specifying the location. So let me show you why I have written desktop. You can see. So this is the C drive. C drive. There you will have the user folder. This is the user folder. Inside the user folder, you can see bit2. This is the username. This is my name, right? So you can see bit2, and inside bit2 you have the desktop folder. So this is the desktop folder, and inside the desktop folder we have another folder, that is HTML space class. So here I have to write HTML space CLA class. So this is the folder. So inside this folder we are going to create this file, that is HTML form, and automatically, as because I have selected this file as an HTML file, dot extension will automatically be added to the file name. We did not require to provide dot extension. Extension will automatically be added. You can see this full location has been specified over here. So let me click the finish button. So right, so it will take some time. Now it has created. So you can see these few lines of code already has been written by the text editor. So I will just go and delete everything. So let me start from the very beginning, right? So see what I will do now. So you can see inside this desktop, inside this HTML class folder, so this file is created. You can see just let me see. Yes, this file HTML form.html, this file, right? So this is the file. You can see If I go and refresh, nothing will be appeared over here. So let me start writing that code. So I will save the file first and say nothing is written blank. So let me start. So I will start with the HTML root tag HTML. Right now, HTML root tag, HTML closing tag, head, and head closing tag. Inside the head we will have the title. Right, inside the title let us specify a title name as form HTML form design. So HTML form design. So we can see why I have used to use NetBeans IDE rather than Notepad, because it is quite easy. You can see I have written the body tag, and here you can see automatically I have the option. I did not require to write the closing tag. So once I have written the opening tag, closing tag will appear automatically. So and you can see the format it is being written over here, so that it will be easy for anybody to understand after I write the code, because it will create certain format of layout in the text editor. So it will be quite easy to understand that under the HTML we have these two part, right, and inside the head we have the title part. So this is how it has been separated by space, so that it could be easy for anybody who will see the program to understand. So here I will start the form design. So to design a form, the first thing we have to write, that is FORM, form, right, form tag. This is the form tag. So if you go and see over here, so you can see blank. So this is the heading and title. Inside the head we have the title HTML form design, and this form, so it does not have any shape and size or color, so nothing could be seen over there as an output. So inside the form we have to keep the form element. So what are the form element? So you must have seen many registration form in different websites. So those registration form we are going to create today here. So the thing that is to be written over here, inside the form we have to add an attribute. So let's say ACTION. So this is an attribute. So why I have written this attribute I will discuss later. First let me write here, see, LABEL, label. This is called label. Okay, what the label tag will do, this label tag will highlight the text field, that what the user need to provide in that text field. So let me show you. So here I will write STUDENT, student name, right, in the label tag, and after the label I will write input. So input tag does not have the closing tag. Remember, input tag does not have any closing tag. So what is input tag? In the input tag, user will provide data. You must have seen the box, check box, where user provide their detail inside the registration form. So those are the input tag. Let me show you. So what kind of input? Let's say input type. So this is an attribute. Input type will be text, right? Input type will be text. Let me show you. So we have written label. Inside the label student name is written, and input tag we have taken, and the type will be text. Let me show you how it appears. So you can see this is the label. Label will highlight the text field, that what data the user has to provide over here. Unless I keep the label, user will never going to know that what exact data that is required to be provided in this text field. And you can see, and this is the text box. So this is the input for the user, right? So here user can give certain input, right? So this is what we have done. Now let me write here another thing, that is placeholder. So what is placeholder? This is further you can say, by using the placeholder you can further specify and let the user know that what user should provide there. Along with the label you can also add the placeholder. So I will show you what this placeholder do. So I will write provide, provide name. See, I have saved the file and let me check it over here. Can you see what is written over here in a very faded color? Provide name. So inside the placeholder I have written provide name. So you can see this is the label, this is the text box. Inside the text box and the placeholder I have used, inside the placeholder it will be shown provide name. That means user need to provide their name. So it could be any name, let's say Vishwajit. So this is the name of the user who, right? So I hope you have understood. And type is text. Text include number, text, special character, anything. So if you specify the type as text, that means this input field will accept alphabet, numeric and special character, right? Now another label. So here let's say contact number, right? And input type, that will be number. So previously I have created a input field which was accepting text, but in this case this input field will accept only number. If you write text, this input type text can accept alphabet, number and special character. But if you once write input type a number, then this will only accept number, right? Now let's say placeholder. So here I will write contact number. So okay, so let me check. After saving the file, go and check. You can see name, contact number, placeholder it is written provide contact number. So you can see, as because this is an input box which will only accept number, right? That is why if you go and try to press any alphabet key, that will not work. Only it will accept number, other than number it will not accept anything. And another thing you must have observed, that up down arrow appears. So you can see by using the up down arrow you can increment the number and you can also decrement the number. Unlike this field, in this field you can see at the right side there are no up and down arrow bar, but once you select this field you can see up and down arrow bar appeared. So this is only because this is input type number and this is input type text. So if you now want to bring this contact number at the next line, you simply can do one thing. You can here add the BR. So you know that BR will break the line, so it will break the line and the contact number appeared in the next line. So let's see. Now again I have taken another label. This label will address that what kind of data that required to be written inside the text box. So this will be let's say email ID, right? Email ID. So the input type, that will be email. It will only accept email, right? Placeholder provide provide your email, right? Or you can simply write provide email. So let me show you how it appears now. Okay, provide email. So this field will only accept email, right? Now to get this in a next line, I will add beer. So here also I will add one beer. Let me show you. It will come in next line. Now let me show you another type. Let's say see. So qualification. Okay, so here see, if I will use, this is another type of input. Okay, this is a drop down input, right? See how to use this. So select tag will have more than one or two options, right? See, option. So you see, so this is the select tag, and the select tag we have three options. So what will be written in the option? Let's see, AC secondary. Here I will write senior secondary, and graduation. Let me add one more, post graduation. So let me save the file. Let me go and watch out here. You can see drop down qualification. If student qualification is secondary, they will go and select secondary. If student qualification is senior secondary, then student will just go and select senior secondary, either graduation or post graduation. So this input is known as a drop down input. How to create this drop down input list? By just see, select opening and closing tag, and inside this select tag you have to mention the number of options. So I have taken 4 options, so each of the option tag also have opening and closing, and inside this opening and closing tag you have to specify the value. These are the value, right? So fine. So now let us take another line by adding beer, and now I will write here label, right, gender. Okay, so gender. Now I will write input. So for gender I will take radio button, so type will be radio. So input type is radio, so I will take radio button to specify gender. So gender can be either male or female, right? So let me show you how it appears now. So gender, can you see gender? This is how you will select either male or female. So let's see, here I will write male, right? I will copy and paste it over here, and in this thing I will write female, right? Now let's see, gender male, female. Gender could be either male or female, or you can simply do another thing. Okay, so you can do this thing. If you want, you can add beer over here. You can take a line after the gender, and this thing can be brought down to a separate line, gender male or female, right? So gender could be either male or female. Gender can never be both. So I have to do something so that user will be allowed to select only one of these two options, either male or female. So what should I be doing over here? Please pay attention and watch. See, I will add name attribute, right? Name here also. So see, NAME, right? So now inside the name you may write anything, anything you may write inside this name, but this is an attribute that you need to use. Inside this attribute you have to define a name, any name. Okay, so let me provide that GENDER, gender, and same name you have to copy and put it here, same name, right? So both the input have a common name, that is gender. So once I have done it, now you can see over here, user can choose female, user can choose male, but user cannot choose both at a time. Okay, so user can either choose male or female, because user can either be male or female but can never be both male and female, right? Fine. So now before moving to another input type, I will show you something over here in this select category. So here I will take another option. See, and here I will write select, right? So let me make it like this. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, fine. Now okay, another option I have added to this select category input, right? Now you can see this exists at the bottom of all the other item. I want to do one thing. I want that this should be always selected by default. Okay, this thing will be selected by default at the top. Okay, so I will write here AC selected. So just I have written selected. So in this option, at the opening tag I have added the attribute that is selected. So once I have added this attribute selected to this option automatically be selected all the time. Okay, you can see. Can you see? In spite of that, this option is ordered at the last, right? You can see over here, this is the last option, but still in spite of that, this option will be always selected. You can see, user can select any of the option, then that will be changed. But first time when you will load the form, that time this select will be selected automatically, right? Okay, so automatically that will be selected, right? Fine. Now let me show you another thing. So I will do one thing. I will not allow. So one thing I will do, that student, post-graduation student should not be allowed to register their detail. So I don't want any postgraduate student to select this menu. So this menu will be kept disabled, right? This menu will be available, but user will not be allowed to select this particular menu, that is post graduation. Okay, so if this kind of requirement arise where there will be option, but any given option, that option you are not allowing for the user to get selected. For doing that, you just have to add here DISA disabled, right? So that means this option will be available, this option will be shown, right? This option will be shown to the user, but this option will be kept disabled. This option will not be allowed to get selected by the user, right? So just I have written disabled. Okay, now let me check. Here, see, this is selected. Now you can see, you can observe the difference in the color of post graduation. All the colors, right, of secondary, senior secondary and graduation are black, but the color of the post graduation, that is not totally black, that is lighter black, right? So that is why if you go and try to select this, see, I am trying to click and select this post graduation, but I couldn't. Why? Because this post graduation option is available, but this is not allowed to get selected by the user who are using this registration form, right? See, I am trying, but I could not select this thing, right? So this is how you can use the disabled option. So I hope you have understood. Now let me move on and show you some other thing. So if you do one thing, you can see this gender option. So I can choose either male or female, but if I click on the male, if I click on the female, that time I couldn't select the radio button. To select the radio button, I have to go and select and click over here. So if user by chance click here or click here, that time the radio button will not going to be selected. So if I do some changes, so that if user click here in the female, and automatically this female button will be selected, and if user click this male, and that time also this radio button will be selected. That will be easy for the user to select the button, because as the button is too small, so the user has to just click right in the center of the button to select this radio button. So to make it bit more easier for the user to select this gender option, so we have to do certain changes. See, if I add the label over here, see, LABEL, label, and here also if I do one thing in the label tag, if I do this, you can see inside the label I have the input tag, and just here I have written male. So if I do this, you can see one thing. See, if I click here, automatically this button is selected, but if I click here, that time this female button is not selected. Why? Because still I have not done the changes over here. So if I do one thing, if I just write here LABEL, and at the end if I add the closing button, the closing label tag, now this label will mark the input, okay, because this female is kept inside the label. So once you click this female, this label will mark the input, and automatically the input, that is the radio button, will be selected. Check out now. See, so now it is quite easy for the user to select the radio button. User did not require to go at the center to click the button. Okay, so now it is easy for the user to select the radio button. Fine. Now let me move on. So here I will take another BR. See, another line I have taken. Now here I will write the, let's say I will use a checkbox, right? So for that I will take another option, label. See, here I will write extra qualification, right? So extra qualifications field that I have added to it. So now under this extra qualification I will take input, INPUT. What kind of input? Type will be of checkbox, right? checkbox. So how does it look? Let me first show you how does the checkbox look. So you can see checkbox, see checkbox. Now I will do one thing. After the extra qualification level, I will put a BR, another line I have taken, and here I will add the label to it, right? If I add the label to it, so let me add the label as I have done here. I will do here also, so that it will be easy for the user, because you can see the checkbox is too small for the user to click. So I will do one thing. I will mark this checkbox with the label, as I have done the same thing over here for the gender option, right? So you can see, and here I will write basic computer. Basic computer, right? And let me add another one. Advanced accounts. Advanced accounting. Programming. Okay. Okay. So let me keep this 3 checkbox, right? So now here you can see this is the level. So extra qualification level I have added. So student can have basic computer knowledge, can have accounting knowledge, can have programming knowledge, so and can also have all these 3. So I am asking the student in the registration form. Here you can see that what knowledge student do have. You can see I have marked the label here with the checkbox. So that is why if I click here, automatically the checkbox will be selected. So you can see, you can also do one thing. You can add the BR tag here, so that it will come in next line, right? So you can see how it appears. Okay, so the user can have basic computer qualification, user can have both this, user can also have 3 of these, or user can have 2 of these. So this is the checkbox. I hope you have understood about the checkbox. Okay, fine. Now let me add another thing over here. So let's see. Text area, right? See, text area. This is another type of input you can use in your registration form, that is text area. So I will not take label for this text area. I will simply write here, see, rows. How many rows? Let me say I will take 6 rows. How many calls? Let me say I will take it 10 columns. Let's see how it appears now. See, okay, this is the text box. So to increase the number of width, I will make it to 50 columns, right? Now see, 50 columns and 6 row. See, 50 columns and 6 row, right? So 50 seems to be much wider, so I will take it to 40. Okay, so inside this text area I will write PROVIDE, provide your full address. So this will be shown, right? Just observe. See, this is text area. User will provide their address over here. So user will just rub this and provide the address, right? And let me show you another input field. So let me show you. I will take a label over here. So I have taken a label and I will write district. Okay, so input type will be text, input type text that already I have discussed before. So the name which I have taken here, also I have addressed the input type should be of text. Okay, here also it will be same, but the new thing that I am going to add over here, that see, I will provide the value. I write here WEST, West Bengal. So you can see, so see, input type text. Okay, text type input it will accept, and value I have already given, that is West Bengal, district West Bengal value. Just go and watch over here. So you can see, so if I go and have a line break, it will appear in next line. So let it be in a next line. Fine. See, district West Bengal. So West Bengal, this is already written. This is not the placeholder, this is the value. So here user can delete this and add value. So by default it was written West Bengal. User can write here anything now, BIHAR or Delhi or Odisha, anything user can write, but by default when this registration form will load, this will be written by default. Okay, why? Because I have already precised a default value, that is West Bengal. If user don't write anything, then automatically this West Bengal will be written. This is not placeholder, this is the value. So user can give value externally, but if user does not give any value, by default if I refresh, when the browser, when this form will load in the browser, this value will be printed. Now user, if you want, user can change it, but if user don't want to change, this will be printed, right? This value will be written over here. Okay, so now I will do another thing. I want that user will not change this value. This value will be fixed. That means all the students who are only belonging from West Bengal, they can do registration. Other students who are not belonging from West Bengal, they are not allowed to do the registration. In this case, the value will be fixed West Bengal. So district value will be fixed West Bengal, because other students who are not staying at West Bengal, they are not be allowed to do registration. So this value will be fixed. So user are not allowed to change this value. Okay, so for that I will add another attribute. Let us see. Read only. The name of the attribute is read only. That means the value, the name of the attribute is read only, because user will not be allowed to change this value. This value will be only read only. User can see, but user cannot change, right? Now let us check. See, previously we can delete this, right? We can delete this and modify, but now after I have added this attribute, that is read only, user can see it, but user cannot delete it. So I am trying to delete by pressing the backspace after selection, but I couldn't. Why I couldn't delete this text? Because this text is now a read only text, so user cannot change this text, right? So I hope you have understood. So let me move forward. See, let me see. Okay, so I will add here another one. Let's say right, so I will show you password. Okay, password, input type password, input type password. Also let me put a placeholder. I will write here provide password. Okay, so input type is password. You must have noticed one thing, that so this is password, input type I have written here password. So you must have noticed in registration form that in the password text field, if you write anything, the text that is kept hidden, that text is actually not shown to the user. Okay, so those text are replaced by something like this dot or star. So this is how you can use the input type password. If you use in the input the type, if you mention the type as password, that time it will work in this way. If you write anything, the text will not be shown, that those text will be kept hidden, and instead of those text, this star or this dot will be shown, right? So that if anybody stay around you, they will not be able to see the password. What password you are typing, that nobody will be able to see. You are typing the password, that means you remember the password. People who are sitting around you, they don't know what password you are typing. So unless they see the password, they will not able to understand. So that is why using the text type, using this input type password, you can apply this field in a password mode, so that it could be kept hidden from other person who are sitting around you, right? So this is how you can create your registration form. So let me show you another field we have missed out, that is a date field. So let me show you. So see, another level I've taken over here, and I'll write here date of birth. So here I will write input field. Okay, so inside the input I will do one thing. I will type will be date. Okay, so you can see, let me take a line by BR. Now see, label date of birth will have a date type input. See, date of birth, and you can have a date type input, right? Date type input, right? I hope you have understood. Now let me show you one thing, that whatever we have done here, right here, okay, we have discussed about many different kinds of input field, right? But the orientation, the manner this has been arranged is not looking very attractive. To make this thing look attractive, we can place all these things inside the table. So I will just create a table here. You can see we know how to create a table. We have learned to create table in the earlier video, so let us create a table. We all know how to create table. Several times we have created table before in other lectures. So table row tier, let's see, we have taken a tier table row. Okay, and inside the tier we are going to place the TD, right? TD. Okay, so 2 TD will be there. Okay, now see how easy it is. Okay, as because we are using the NetBeans text editor, it is quite easy for us to understand. Okay, so now I will remove this thing from here. See, okay, I have removed this thing. I will put it inside the table. See, right? Just pay attention what I am doing, so that it will show in a proper manner. So I will keep everything inside the table. Okay, so it will look better. Just remove from open space and keep it inside the table cell. So I am keeping everything inside the table cell, right? Email, and qualification. Okay, so I'll do one thing. Okay, and I have to create some more rows, some more tier. Okay, and some more TD. Okay, some more of those I need to create. Okay, so after qualification, let me add the extra qualification. So I will do after the qualification. You can see here I have added the qualification. In the next row I will add the extra qualification, right? So extra qualification, where is extra qualification? Yeah, this is the extra qualification. See, extra qualification, right? Now after extra qualification I also need to add the address. Okay, here I will add the address. But one thing I will do. Okay, first let me show you how it appears till now. You can see how this has been appeared, okay, in a proper way. So I have to work with this address. So you can see I will delete this cell. So in this row there will be only one cell, and I will increase the size of this cell. I will use call span. We know that by using the call span I can increase the width of this single cell. So the width, there will be in this row there will be only a single cell, and the width of this cell will be increased to the size of two cell, right? So you can see now, right, it came properly over here. Now see here, I will add the district. And you can see where is the district. Here it is the district. Right, district. Now I will let me copy and put it over here. So name, contact, after name, contact number, email ID. Before the qualification, here we need to add the gender. So gender should be put over here, gender. See, you can see gender, and gender will be male or female, right? Gender will be either male or female, right? Now also we need to add the date of birth, right? Date of birth. So just do one thing. Below the gender we are going to add the date of birth here. So two things you need to add. Another is first one is date of birth. Here I will add the date of birth, right? And this date field here. Okay, so we have done. Now another thing is left, that is password. Let me add the password at the last here. So this is the password. I have added the password over here, and you can see what I have done. So now let me delete all this thing. Okay, so here is the form, and now I will put this table, the table that I have created now, this full table. Okay, I will put it inside the form. So you can see what I have done. If you closely watch, you will able to understand. So you can see here is the form, right? And inside the form I have got the table, right? And inside the table we have number of tier, that is number of rows. Okay, this many number of rows we have. Okay, and each of those row have two column, right? In the left column we have added the label. You can see in the left side column we have added the label, and in the right side column we have added the input. Let's see over here. See, in the left side column we have added the label, and in the right side column we have added the input, right? And what we have done for the address, we have done, see, here is our address. See, in the address, in this particular row we just have one cell, and that cell I have increased to the size of 2 cell. I have merged 2 cell into 1 cell, and in that cell I have kept the address, because address will be something a bigger text, long text, so that should be given some more area to write. So that is why I have given some more space for the address to be written properly. So that is why I have merged 2 cell into a bigger one, right? So now I will add something more over here. You can see here, just before the starting of form I will write here. Okay, I can also write here. I can also write just below the form, above the table here. I can also write one thing, that is FIELD field set, right? FIELD ACT field set. And you can see if I click here, it will be minimized. This table has 58 lines. So after the table here, I will write the field set closing. So field set opening and field set closing, and just inside the field set we have all the code of table. You can see, can you see over here? So all the table code we have inside the field set. Pay attention and watch. See, inside table we have all the label and inputs inside those row and cell, and this table is kept inside the field set. So why I have drawn the field set? You can see for the field set this border appeared. Can you see the border? This border appeared only for the field set. Now I will do one thing. See, inside the field set I will write here, see, LEGEND, legend, right? Legend. Now here I will write registration form. So okay, a registration form. Now let us see how it appears. See, registration form. So this is legend. Okay, now if I give here border equal to 1, what will happen? You can see border will appear, right? Border will appear. I can also increase the height of the border. You just write height here, height GHT. You can increase the height of the border, let's say 600 px. So simply you can see height will increase. You can make it to 500. You can make it to 500. Okay, you can see, right, 500. So you can also remove the border if you want. Okay, you can write width. 400, width 400, and height 500. Fine. If you do this, see, okay, you don't have the border. Fine, you don't have the border. I have removed the border. Okay, you can also specify the width for the fill set. If you don't want to specify width over here, you can specify width for the fill set, right? Once you do this, you can see, okay, so you can't specify width actually for the fill set. You only can do this by applying CSS. I will not going to show you CSS now, because in a separate class I will show you the CSS. Let it be up to this. So what we have done, see, this is a form we have created, this is the border, right? And another thing we have missed out to add, that is the submit button. Submit button you need to add. Okay, see, here I will take another tier, another, that is table row, and inside this I will add a TD, right? So TD, and I will increase this TD width with call span, right, 2, 1 TD, but it will have a size of 2 TD, right? And I will add input type submit, input type submit. Okay, what does it mean? This will create a submit button. Input type submit means the function of this particular input type will be to submit the data, of the registration form, right? You can see, okay, I want this tag to appear at the center. How to do it? If you just go and write here center opening and center closing, right? Now if you write like this, this will appear at the center. You can see center opening, center closing, right? So instead of submit, you can write something else. If I write here value, I will write the value as sign up, right? Okay, so value sign up. So as because I have specified the value sign up, it will be printed here sign up, right? See, so now, so you can see action, form action, what this form action will do. So once I click the submit button, you can see if I click the submit button, it will take out to a separate page. So I'll do that. Okay, so let me open another file. Okay, so I will open another file, new file I will create. Go to other HTML. Okay, so I will write here file name submit. So I'm creating a separate file. The name of the file will be submit, right? And that will be saved over here only. Okay, okay, fine. So okay, here it let me write here, yes, the title will be submitted, submitted, submitted. Okay, in the body I will have a h1 heading, right? H1 heading, here it will be written data your details app submitted, submitted. Okay, this thing will be written, right? Okay, fine. So okay, this thing will be written. Okay, now see, here I will write submit dot html. Okay, so I have written submit dot html. So what happened? If I click here, See, this page will open. Your detail have been submitted. Okay, this page I have just now created. So I want this to be appear right at the center. For that I will just write here center opening tag, center closing tag. Okay, so that it will appear right at the center. Okay, so now you can see how I have done. It will appear right at the center. This is the form. Once I click the submit button, automatically this will be shown. Your detail have been submitted, right? Fine. So now one thing is that all the blanks are, all the text box are not filled. Still I can submit, right? I don't want this to be happen. Okay, so I want that user have to provide data. Unless user provide data, user can submit, right? For that, in the HTML form we will add something. See, so user need to provide data. Unless this submit form, this submission page will not open. Okay, so you can see action will be taken to this particular file, right? This file. But for that user have to provide data. So I will write here user have to provide this student name. So here I will write required, right? Required. Okay, that means you can see over here. So if I just go and click here, okay, see, please fill out this field. So I have to write something over here, then only I can move to the next page, right? So if I just go and copy this to all here, then all the field will be mandatory field. So user have to provide proper detail, unless it is not possible to do the submission, right? So just go and paste the data, then we can submit. See, we have to provide data over here. And if I click the submit button, user have to provide the number. Okay, user have to provide valid Gmail address. So valid Gmail address means it should have this @ so this @ will prove, okay, that this is valid, right? So provide date of birth. Okay, now after those mandatory data, user can submit the details. This is how we have created the HTML form. I hope you have understood. Okay, so thank you for paying attention and watching this video till the end. So do subscribe this channel. I will come up with the CSS class from the next lecture. Okay, thank you.